It's kind of a creepy place. If you believe in ghosts, that is a hell of a place to go.
Straight out of a horror movie, I would say, when you get in there, like you see it and it just kind of takes you back for a second.
One of the main problems when you're going there is just getting people into the place, like getting people in the mental mind state.
It's definitely creepy looking. There's trees everywhere and it's all boarded up in places. And
looks like a giant haunted house.
Yeah.
It's really more of a skeleton on the inside. It's rotting away.
Just the thought before your mind is lost. Do you know who you are?
It's being torn apart by nature, basically. It's really cool.
Life trapped inside a maze.
It's a spot that a lot of people want to go to for ghost hunting.
A lot of people think that it's haunted.
Living for the night.
It's really a sight to see. You have to go there to experience it for yourself.
Lakeville State Hospital, formerly known as Lakeville Sanatorium, was built in Lakeville, Massachusetts in 1909. The small town located in Plymouth County is just 40 minutes south of Boston. In the early 1900s, due to the rising number of tuberculosis patients throughout the United States, the state of Massachusetts authorized the establishment of 3 new tubercular sanatoria. Dr. Sumner Coolidge, a physician and Harvard graduate, was given the opportunity to determine the location of each hospital. Although much of the town was opposed to the idea, Coolidge believed Lakeville was the perfect area to build one of the new sanatoria. The town bought the land, which used to be a farm, using Coolidge as a buyer. The doctor was appointed superintendent of the facility, and in 1910, Lakeville Sanatorium opened its doors to the public, immediately housing 150 patients.
It was a long-term care facility for patients that had diseases such as tuberculosis.
Opposition to its location quickly diminished as the townsfolk realized how positive the institution was for the community.
The hospital used to be in really great shape in its prime. It used to be a beautiful place.
It was later given the nickname The San by its patients and workers. Gail Perkins, a patient in the hospital from 1936 to 1948, recalls mixed memories and emotions. Gail was infected with tuberculosis of the spine, also known as tuberculous spondylitis, or Pott's disease. Most of her childhood was spent in a body cast of some sort, making movements somewhat difficult. She remembers some of the treatment by the staff being cruel. After telling the head nurse that a staff member was shoving patients' faces into their food, she was dragged into the shower and blasted with cold water, unable to move because of her full body cast. Fortunately, nothing more extreme was reported at the sanatorium. However, mistreatment of patients was a big problem in the surrounding insane asylums.
Mostly just because they didn't know what to do with the kids. They had really experimental treatments on these kids, and it's really sad.
If there were people with mental problems, they just didn't understand. They would bathe people in really cold water to cure them of diseases, and
lobotomies.
They just didn't understand anything really about people that had mental problems back then.
They didn't really treat them like human beings.
Yeah, exactly.
Gail could look into the morgue from her bed at night. Her and other children watched as corpses were processed.
Many times we would see the stretcher with the covered body being taken there. Sometimes at night we would watch them as they put the insides of the organs in the jars. We would all be frightened, but not enough to make us stop looking.
Not all memories were negative, however. Former patients recall the beautiful grounds of the hospital and the lifelong friends they made there. In 1946, a successful treatment of tuberculosis was found, and the threat of the disease faded. The hospital went on to treat patients with polio and other diseases, and in 1964, it was renamed Lakeville Hospital.
From the 40s onto the 50s, it would treat polio until there was a vaccination from that. And early 60s, they set up the main hospital.
It acted as a long-term treatment facility for the chronically ill for many years before it was used to house state offices, no longer accepting incoming patients.
From then on, it was a normal state hospital until it lost funding in the late 80s, like a lot of hospitals did.
The state closed it because they couldn't afford it anymore.
Right.
A lot of, especially New England hospitals, lost a lot of state funding and they had to close.
Due to the lack of funding, the hospital was closed in 1992, never to reopen its doors.
It's been kind of left all alone to let Mother Nature take care of it. It's really started falling apart really, really bad.
Throughout its dormant years, the hospital has gained the attention of many people, including thrill seekers, explorers, and photographers.
It's a real sight to see from the outside. You wouldn't really think it was a hospital.
Kind of has the feel of being on a college campus in a main building, but knowing that there's no one around to help you.
From the outside, you can see that all the windows are broken from kids throwing rocks.
There's 4 buildings, and the main building, which housed all the main equipment and stuff, is more new. So it's definitely
Better
not
shape.
as creepy looking, but I mean, from getting off the highway to see it, it's just like, wow, it's really nice in there to see it, to see everything. Just it's amazing. It's like the stuff you see in horror movies or online, just anything like that. It's right there.
The drywall in some places has completely gone away. Like, you can see through what was once 6 layers of wall.
It's crazy, this iron lung still in there, and those giant bathtubs, and paperwork from patients and their blood type, and
it's just, it's pretty weird. It's just strange. It seems like they just got up and left.
You can feel a lot of the emotions that are still in there. When I go there, it's really like a crazy mix of emotions. Like, there's a lot of sadness that you feel for some of the kids that went there.
I don't know, you just get the sense of someone else being there, because there were so many people there before, and it's just so strange to feel like there's no one there anymore.
You feel like Lewis and Clark on a crazy adventure, basically just discovering these things that you feel that no one else has seen. It's a great photo opportunity there.
My best memory from the hospital was the day we got into the main building. There were some really cool things in that building, and it was really interesting.
Another emotion that goes around is just general fear, mostly of being caught by security.
The only problem I've ever really considered is the security guard. I don't know, I mean, it's not a really great feeling to be, have someone on the hunt for you, I guess.
That's another one of my main concerns is safety, overall safety of the place. It's really, really dangerous to be walking around in a hospital that is falling apart. You could fall through a hole in the ground and not even know it. You're gonna be dead in the bottom of the hospital. How ironic is that?
I mean, if something ever happened to you in there, no one's coming for you, and no one knows you're in there.
Because of safety issues and maintenance costs, the town is eager to demolish the abandoned hospital. Currently, the grounds are being inspected by Sysco Boston in the hopes of building a new food distribution center.
They're turning all these places into, condominiums and just shopping malls, and I don't know.
They just don't want the buildings there anymore.
As its time winds down, witnesses urge everyone to take advantage of the hospital and its lasting effect.
Go to these places, not to smash them up, to just, if you want an experience that you'll never forget, go to one of these places.
If you're gonna go, just go for the sake of seeing what was once there. It's a different feeling, and if you want to experience it, I think you definitely should, because it's a great time.
You're not going to get another experience like that. Just go.
At least for me, when I got there the first time, I was really scared to go in, but I'm glad I did, because it's a few days in my life I'm never going to forget, because it was just one of the most amazing things I've ever done. So, yeah, really cool.
Although the future of Lakeville State Hospital remains unknown, one thing is certain: its history and memories will never die.